waiter at Chili's, and I was a cashier at Best Buy, and I was literally living paycheck to paycheck. I was also a college student. Deep inside, I knew that there was more for me out there, and I knew that one day I was going to be making more money, but I didn't necessarily know how I was going to do it, but I knew that it was going to happen. That's something that's very important, so I want you to think about that through this whole story. Sometimes you have to believe that something will happen without actually understanding how it'll happen, because how will fall into place as long as you believe and put action into doing whatever it is you want to do. So skipping a long time, I ended up quitting Chili's. I ended up quitting Best Buy because I truly believed that I could make it onto YouTube. So I asked my mom at the time to apply for a Best Buy credit card for me so I can buy my first ever laptop and first ever camera. Didn't have money, asked her to buy it for me, and I told her I'll pay her back. Long story short, I did end up paying her back. Something I never told people, my first huge chunk of YouTube, I didn't make any money. Now, it's not because my channels didn't make money. I just wasn't making money, and here's why. So I was with this Fousey YouTube network. It wasn't an official network. It wasn't a full screen. It wasn't a Maker. It wasn't a, Studio 71. It was just this random YouTube network that I found on the ad of the side of my video. Each month, I would get this paycheck, and it was very small at the time for the views that I was getting, because I was getting a lot of views, but my paychecks were super low, and I knew something was wrong. Like, I'm getting 600 here, 1,000 here, and I was like, man, what's this YouTube money that everybody talked about? But I never let that stop me, and I never let it affect my motivation and my passion for wanting to do video. Months went by, and I was still getting the same amount of money. And then I started uploading some of my most viral videos. I uploaded Shit Drake Says, and I uploaded, Middle Eastern Pairings and Middle Eastern Family episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. And these were all getting millions of views, but my money wasn't adding up. And it was getting extremely frustrating, but I still loved to do the videos, so I didn't let it stop me. All of a sudden, I get in a fight with the guy whose network I was under. It ended up being this one guy who lived in his house, who had this fake YouTube network, and what he was doing was collecting all my money each month and then giving me maybe 2% of what I was actually earning. So finally, when I had my first manager, he got in contact with Fullscreen. The day I signed Fullscreen, I didn't know how the whole YouTube analytics stuff worked. They sent me my first check, and I got $20,000. This is $20,000 out of hundreds of thousands of dollars that I had probably lost to that guy that I'll never get back. But I finally learned what YouTube money was about, and I finally understood how much money can be made doing these videos. I did not let the fact that I lost such a large percentage of money affect me. I knew that that was a staple in my life. I learned many lessons from it. I learned to actually read contracts. I learned to actually do research before I joined any networks or, did any business-related things. So I tell you that story to let you know that that was the first time I made any real kind of money. I remember that feeling when I got that first paycheck. That's very important, because whenever you receive anything like that, you want to remember and establish the feeling you were feeling at that time, because it is all about the feeling and the energy that you put out. So when I got that first $20,000, I remember I was shaking. I texted my mom, and I was like, oh my God, like, I have a lot of money. I genuinely felt rich at the time, and I was like, this is crazy. I just couldn't even understand or interpret what was happening in my life. But I had finally awoken the giant and opened the door, teaching me how much more there is out there, and how literally anything I set my mind to, I can make. That year at Playlist Live, it was my first ever Playlist Live. There's actually a video of me there. I was on a panel with Shay Carl and everything, and I was a small YouTuber at the time. I was with my friend Fahad. Now, this is a very important part of the story. Me and Fahad, at about 2 a.m., were walking the streets of Orlando. I think that's where we were. And I looked at Fahad in the eye, who did all my videos with me, and I said, next year, I want to be back here at Playlist Live, and I want to make 6 figures. I wasn't making 6 figures at the time, but I put it out there. When I put it out there, I truly believed, and I truly knew that I was going to make 6 figures. Now, I didn't just say I hope that one day in my life makes 6 figures. I said, when I come back, I'm going to make 6 figures. I want to make, and I'm going to make 6 figures. I believed it. I felt it. I understood it. I knew that I was worth it, and I knew that I deserved it. That's very important when you put out into the world what you want to achieve. If you doubt yourself, how do you expect anybody to believe you, and how do you expect the universe to believe you and give you what you want? I think it was only a couple of months after that, I finally made my first 6 figures. And once I reached that, new milestone, I told myself, wait, if If I'm able to say I want to make six figures and I made six figures that easy, why not ask for more? The more money I started asking for and the more work I put in, the more money started coming in, and I realized what it was all about, man. What we do in life is set our own limitations. There are so many times where we doubt ourselves and use the words I am in a negative way. If you say out loud, I'm poor, man, I'm broke, man, I can't afford that, then you know exactly what's gonna happen. You're gonna be poor, you're gonna be broke, and you're not gonna be able to afford it. Even if you are poor, even if you are broke, and even if you can't afford it, you can never say that and believe that. You have to always do the reverse action of that, or else you are always gonna remain that. If you are saying that out to the world is going to give it right back to you. When I had 0 subscribers, I didn't say, nobody knows me, man. I'm never going to have 1 million subscribers. I said, no, I'm going to get 1 million subscribers. I know what it feels like to get 1 million subscribers. I felt it and I believed it. If you watch my first ever YouTube video, I believed it. That is everything that success is about. It's believing it and feeling it before you actually get it. The rest will fall into place. So if you're walking around the mall and you see something that you want, if you look at that thing and say, I can't afford it, I won't be able to afford it, I promise you'll never be able to afford it. Anytime I went to the mall for something I wanted, even if I couldn't afford it at that time, I either tried it on, I felt it, I held it, and I knew that one day it would be mine. And before I knew it, everything I started manifesting was coming into my life. It worked so much more than just money. So when I told myself I wanted to become a millionaire, it wasn't far-fetched anymore. At the time, I was only making 100,000 here, 100,000 there, but before I knew it, the more I started to believe that I was going to make my first $1 million, the easier it became. Revenue started coming into my life from all different angles because I told the universe and I told myself I'm going to be a millionaire at a young age. Now, it's different because I made my first $1 million when I was young. I believe I was 23. But then there was a different time where I actually had more than $1 million in the bank. Now that's a big difference, and I had to ask the universe what I wanted at the time. So when I said I wanted to become a millionaire, I did become a millionaire in the fact that I made my first $1 million at 23. But then I said, I want to hold $1 million in the bank, and that finally happened at the age of 25. And then I started being smart and asking for more, and more started coming into my life. Now the money, like I said, did not just come into my life because I was a YouTuber. Because there's obviously millionaires of all different fashions who are making money in whatever they're doing, but they are still believing in the same principle. So many times I see people set up their own roadblocks because they're setting up the limitations for themselves in their head. The thing with me, and it's different than the way my father raised me, because my dad made a lot of money growing up. He's a hustler, man. He came from back home in the Middle East. He opened up delis his whole life, made a lot of money, put 4 kids through college, 2 of them through weddings, bought all of us our first cars, did really good for us. But the difference between my dad's ideologies and my ideology, my dad doesn't believe in wasting money and spending money like, just all over the place. I, from a young age, was never scared to lose and never scared to spend money. The reason I was never scared to lose or spend money was because I knew deep down, no matter how much I spent, it was going to come right back to me. Now, a lot of people have trouble understanding this because they say that's horrible advice, because they think that if I tell people that, somebody's going to go out, buy a Louis Vuitton bag, and then waste all their money and say like, damn, Yousef told me he was going to come back. No matter what it is, I go out, I don't look at price tags. I've never really cared about a price tag. Now, I know when I went to see this, I want it, I'm going to buy it without wondering, without calculating, without understanding. If I spend this, am I going to go broke? Because the second that I put fear into myself and into the universe that I will lose money or go broke at any time in my life, it's going to happen because I'm putting it out there. So no matter what it is I'm going to buy, that's cool. It's going to come back to me. That's why my dad doesn't understand why I spend so much money on different things, because I know if I put $25,000 here, I have $100,000 coming here, and I'm okay with that. Because I'm confident in it, and I believe in it, and I know the money will come to me. Now, this all comes from the law of attraction, so I know there's a huge misunderstanding when I explain this, and my tattoo is itching, and something I'll have to explain to you guys later on, but I'm just trying to give you a brief summary as to how I manifest things in my life. You can never consciously be scared of being broke or going broke. You have to always be the reverse of what you want. Something simple that I learned from the law of attraction. If you are late, right, and you don't want to be late to work, you cannot say, I do not want to be late to work. You have to say, I want to be on time. I'm going to be on time. The reason you see me celebrate every success, like when I was nominated for Streaming Show of the Year, and I asked everyone to vote, and everyone was like, you only won the stream because you begged your fans to vote. It's because I wanted it that badly. Because I was manifesting it into my life. And the reason I thank you guys so much and I go so crazy whenever I earn something, it's because I want to show the universe how grateful I am to get it. And I want to show everybody how thankful I am. Because if I'm not, the door is going to close. The blessings can stop. I can lose everything I gain like this. That's why I thank you guys so much. That's why I'm appreciative of you guys so much. I'm never scared to fail because I don't believe in failing. I only believe in succeeding because that's the only way. I know there's so many people who are rejecting what I'm saying right now, but there are some of you who are listening to everything and it's going to open something inside you. Something's going to click and you're going to start using what I'm saying and your life is going to change for good. I promise you that. Like I said, I'm not trying to sell a book, a product, or anything. Didn't have to do this. I truly want this to help somebody, and at my meet and greets, when somebody comes up to me and says, bruh, you told me I can do this and I did, I smile and I go, I know. Just watch. Just watch what's going to happen. I love you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow. If you want to see more of these videos, me talk to you more about my path to success and how I got to where I am, give this video a big thumbs up. But until then, I'll see you tomorrow on those Fousey with Ground Off the T says being the line stay roaring. And don't forget, don't sweat the small stuff, but believe in yourself. It's more important.